On my videos, I've been saying that Tiffany Henyard is a no talent. I must come out here and apologize. Tiffany Henyard is talented. She's one of the most talented people I've ever heard of that causes problems. And Tiffany Henyard can do one thing very well: cause trouble wherever she goes. You see, it's not just enough for Tiffany Henyard to cause trouble in the Village of Dolton. Nope. Tiffany Henyard also needs to cause chaos in her larger position as Thorntown Township supervisor. Now, what is consistent between the Village of Dolton and the larger Thorntown Township is they have 2 town hall or village city kind of hall meetings every month. Now in Dolton, she only shows up to one of those meetings, but she does do both meetings for Thorntown Township as a supervisor. I guess making over $200,000 a year, she could at least show up both times. Where in the Village of Dolton, she shows up one time, and then when the trustees have the other meeting, she will then call it a squirrel meeting. Talk about a liar, right? But in both cases, in Dolton and in Thorntown Township, there are people who are disgruntled and hate Tiffany Henyard or dislike her very strongly. One of those guys is Gardis Watts. He's an African-American that lives, I believe, somewhere in the Thorntown Township. But the guy that I'm going to focus on today is an older gentleman by the name of Mr. Paul Roberts. Now, he was supposed to get 3 minutes to speak, but of course, Tiffany Henyard reduces it to 2 minutes. This is a tactic she's done before in the Village of Dolton. I want you to hear what he had to say about her, and then we'll come back.
I would love to ask questions of the supervisor, but she refuses even during the annual township meeting. The township assessor, the deputy clerk, the highway commissioner, and trustee Gonzalez have all answered every question I have asked of them. But I believe you will not be elected as supervisor unless you do the same. My comment tonight focuses on the strategy for surviving, perhaps even thriving in Thorntown Township in the next year. Paradoxically, we must take the supervisor's advice and do the research to get the facts in order to know the truth, even though she and her administration do their best to prevent us from getting all the facts. Has anyone else noticed that when she promises to show us the receipts we ask for, she shows us nothing other than some remarks that belittle her opponents? Truth is much more than finger pointing and embarrassing each other. We as humans have finite lifespans and are limited to 3-dimensional vision. Our opinions are trivial and meaningless to a being who can see from all dimensions and through all the historical ages. Of course, only God can claim to know the truth. Only God has experienced all history. Meanwhile, back here on our little corner of the planet, we have a finite number of waking hours, a finite number of dollars, and about 150 employees to help distribute those dollars between about 160,000 citizens. Should we listen to someone who believes she deserves more of those dollars than anyone else because God chose her to be above us? For all we know, God could have sent her to our planet because he couldn't find enough locusts. Anyway, we can't get anything done in the next year without examining the question, what is truth? Since I was a child in the 1960s, I learned that truth is something created by people engaged in listening to each other and questioning each other. We are the operational truth when we listen to each other, ignore lies, and work together to respond to each other's threats.
Your time is up.
Now, see, he is known as a troublemaker to the Tiffany Henyard administration in the Village of Dolton. And Kamal Woods, if you could see him in that clip, he was sitting right by him. Shortly after Mr. Roberts went up there and gave a speech to the podium, he decided to step out, okay? Now at this time, Kamal Woods, which is Tiffany Henyard's boyfriend, decided to follow him out. Now, we're gonna find out why that was the case.
So, when he came and pulled you to the side, he brings you into the hallway, he wants to have a private conversation. Could you share any of that with us?
Sure.
Come on.
I stopped immediately outside the door. I think he wanted to take me outside. but right outside the door, he said, "You've taken a bunch of pictures of my car. I don't like that. Can you promise me that you'll never take another picture of my car?" He said it with enough urgency that I said, "Well, I don't know why this is a big deal. You could feel free to take as many pictures of my Nissan Cube as you'd like to." But he kept asking me if I can promise never to take another picture of his car. He asked me 6 times. And by that time, Josh Bootsma of the Lansing Journal was behind him. Gardis and Stephanie were there. And he knew he was outnumbered. He didn't threaten me. He seemed like he wanted to. And after about 4 minutes, Keith Freeman walks out. He assesses the situation. He sees that Kamal is outnumbered and he's making no progress with us. So Keith just says, "Come on, it's time to go."
So as you've heard, he was taking photos of Mr. Kamal Woods' car. So Kamal Woods is probably very pissed off about that. "Why are you taking pictures of my car?" Mr. Paul Roberts says, "Hey, listen, you can take pictures of my car if you like. It's not a problem." Then Jedediah Brown asked Mr. Roberts, "Why were you taking pictures of the car?"
I don't know, why would you take a picture of his car?
Behind Thornton Township headquarters, there are 2 parking spaces reserved for Tiffany Henyard. And at every meeting, and even last Friday when I drove by there, his white 2023 BMW 760i was parked in one of those spots. The infamous black Tahoe with police license plates was parked in the other spot. And the reason that there's been so much attention on his car is it's rumored that Thornton Township purchased that car. So Ben Bradley from WGM9 asked me for the license plate number when I took a picture of it at the last Dolton meeting. I didn't get a picture of the license plate. I drove by there Friday, got the license plate number. I think my wife called you. Your people looked it up and determined that he had switched plates, Bonnie and Clyde style.
So now we see exactly why. He's taking pictures of the car for what reason? Okay, because that vehicle that he has, a BMW, could have been purchased with Thornton Township money. So WGN, Mr. Brenton Bradley, who has been breaking out all of the stories against Henyard, wants to get the license plate and to find out who purchased this car. Why? Because we know Tahoe Tiffany has spent $150,000 on that vehicle when they shouldn't have purchased it. Now, the reason why Kamal Woods doesn't really want to go off, the reason is he knows he's going to go to jail. Okay. And especially you're going to be getting in the face of an older white gentleman, not a good look. And that is exactly why Keith Freeman said, listen, we need to, chill out. Let's just stop and do all of that. So you out here mad at the guy for taking pictures of your car, but you shouldn't be working there in the first place. And why are you in one of the parking spots? You're not Tiffany Henyard. Now, let me just say this. One of these photos here that I saved is going to be interesting. Look at Kamal Woods looking like somebody's stepdaddy. You see the picture? That's Kamal Woods next to Tiffany Henyard and her daughter, and she's over there holding up that heart that she always does. Okay? That's Kamal Woods. This dude is basically clapping cheeks to pay his bills. He's a gigolo. All right? Now, let me look at this BMW that allegedly this guy has. The BMW looks like this. All right? And this is one of the BMWs that they believe Thornton Township has purchased on the behalf of Kamal Woods. Boy, is that something. Guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson. back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all you do. Subscribe to the bell. We out.